Hello, my name is Jimmy LaValle. I'm from the album Leaf, and you are watching UniScreen. If the sky is bright. It was his living room, and I was playing in a band where I was actually playing drums for this band at the time, and the singer had an old like 8-track Tascam recorder, and basically we as a band would be playing and rehearsing and everything would be recorded, and then afterwards I would just kind of stay around and hang out with him because he's a friend, and then he had a Rhodes piano which I'd never played before, and so I was just like, oh, playing it, and then he would kind of just be secretly recording me all the time and then play it back, and then I'd be like, oh cool, let me just put drums on it, and then so it was just kind of like totally not planned out and just kind of weird pieces that I'd thrown together, and I think the record kind of also reflects that too, but but yeah, it's cool. And then another one, there's a couple tracks that I actually recorded in like my house in a bedroom, and yeah, I mean, I kind of slightly do that now in a bit with the vocalist or the lyricist that I work with, Paul from Black Carpet Session. We work together, but a lot of the ideas are kind of him. We work together a lot on the lyrics, so they're not 100% mine. So it's kind of like that, but I think it would be interesting. Definitely, I've thought about doing like other projects where I supplied music and worked with another vocalist or something like that, or just started a whole new band and kind of. I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, there's plenty more years of playing to come, so, see what I can get into, basically. There's definitely times where, I mean, it's really hard when you're used to touring and used to performing and used to, making a record or this, that, or just playing music in general, to just kind of relax. It's really, really hard. I mean, I got married, went on a honeymoon, and it took me like at least a week and a half to just be like, oh, okay, I can just like, I don't have to go to the next place. I'm kind of like feeling like I'm constantly moving, and here, like, we're in Vienna for 12 hours, and we're not going to see anything, and it's just, but I've been here before, so it's kind of like a, so it's really hard to kind of just stand still, and there's a song called Stand Still, which is basically referring to that, but and I do try to involve myself with other things and other projects and other artists, and just kind of work with different things. And I played in another band about a year ago, and we did a tour, and that was fun. And then I just produced a band from Mexico in October, and so I kind of do things that I find feel like I want to keep busy, and I do remixes and things like that. So it is really hard to kind of just but it's my job too. So it's like I should be working. We grew up with there was a piano in the house. I had an older brother who was 6 years older, and he was kind of a self-taught, like messing around all the time. And I think that really kind of inspired me to kind of, crawl up onto the stool and, check stuff out. And he showed me a lot when I was young, and I started taking lessons when I was 4. And I think that maybe my parents just saw that I had a natural, gravitation towards playing music. So, and then that's really all I can remember. I can't really remember anything, or thinking I want to be a rock star when I grow up or something like that. It's just always just been there. It's just always been what I've done. So, for as long as I can remember, I've just always played music. I remember what it was, and I have like a picture in my head of what it was. It was Billy Joel. I think it's smoke my eyes. Sorry. I'm not crying about seeing Billy Joel, but but yeah, it was basically, and I have a memory of sitting with my parents and maybe even being like standing on the chair or like being on my dad's shoulders and like watching Billy Joel, so in like this huge like I mean, to me, like the memory is just like this huge stadium or something like that, and it probably wasn't. But I mean, actually, he was pretty massive, so I'm sure it probably was. But yeah, that's like my first real memory, I think. And then, of course, as I started, you know, getting into like, you know, indie shows and things like that, that basically, you know, there was a bunch of clubs, a handful of clubs in San Diego that I would go to, and you know, and there was a lot of hardcore bands and a lot of, you know, I totally have really fond memories of it all, starting out young. I think it was a battle of the bands in my high school or something like that. And I remember because I was like a freshman in high school or something. I must have been like 14 or 15, and I was like, probably shouldn't say, but it's like smoking weed at the time, you know, and I just remember being like extremely stoned and trying to play, you know, battle of the bands and win it or whatever. So but yeah, and it was really, you know, just kind of cheesy and stuff. And I wasn't so nervous then, but then I remember the first band I actually like had, like, it was kind of like I played in this kind of weird band, and it was like never really nerve-wracking, and it was just kind of really, you know, shitty music and just cheesy. And then the band that I started, that I was kind of like, okay, cool, I'm doing something that I like. I just remember like feeling really sick to my stomach and really nauseous, and it was at like this youth center that we played, and really high stage, and it was just like, whoa, I can see everybody, and it took a while to get used to, but now I'm like a pro, and it doesn't even matter. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, yeah, that's the first thing I thought of was just like, that's cool, but you know, I don't know. I think Grizzly Bear is a good name, but it's not like, oh shit, that's better than mine. But it's I'm not. Mine's the best, but I'm saying. But yeah, Grizzly. I think Grizzly Bear is a pretty cool name, or Panda Bear, or any of those. A lot of the bears. I don't know, whatever. Wolf, bear, all that shit. I don't know.